Right, this is case number 03126575. This is H&S Financial versus Montica Gutierrez Delgado. That is before the court on an application for a subpoena or the issuance of a subpoena. Do I have counsel for H&S Financial on this Zoom?
Should have. Yeah, you shouldn't have that at all.
This is case number 06. The previous matter, not on the docket. This is case number 06125000 for Acceptance Corporation versus Eugene Young. That is before the court on objections to a writ of garnishment. The writ is a relation to the Michigan Department of Treasury. The record should reflect in this matter that a judgment was entered in this case by default in 2006, September 26, 2006. That judgment was $1,731.63. It looks like the writ of garnishment issued sometime in January, it seems. All right, your appearance for the plaintiff in this matter.
Good morning, Your Honor. Navjot Francis, P72322 on behalf of Plaintiff's Attorney of Record.
Thank you, Madam Counsel. I should indicate that the judgment was renewed in this matter in 2016, September 1st, 2016. All right, do I have Eugene Young on this phone? Mr. Young? Looks like at this one first up, it looks like the hearing is set for 10 a.m. So all of them. So I'll come back to this in just a moment because it's set for 10, Madam Counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Popovich, I think I'm saying it right. Which case are you on, sir? Which matter are you on, counsel?
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm here on behalf of Credit Acceptance on case number 191-70959.
All right, just one moment. Do I have Miranda Fisher on this Zoom? If you're here, say something. Looks like I see Ms. Fisher there. Ms. Fisher?
Yes, I'm on here. Yes.
Thank you. This is case number 19-170-959. This is Credit Acceptance Corporation versus Miranda Fisher. And matters before the court on the following writ of garnishment. This does relate to, looks like elder care at a St. Clair Shores address. It looks like Jaworski, St. Clair Shores. All right, counsel, your appearance for the plaintiff in this matter.
Good morning, Your Honor. Alexander Popov, P84378, appearing on behalf of plaintiff.
All right, thank you, counsel. And I note that a judgment was entered in this matter by default, it looks like, on the 9th of December 2019. That judgment is for $8,321.61. And Ms. Fisher, good morning to you, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. It looks like you filed objections to the writ of garnishment, and you didn't state any of the objections in section 1. You did say, I object to the written statement I received from the creditor because the balance of the judgment is wrong. So I guess that's the reason that you're indicating an objection here is because you said the balance is wrong. How much money is owed on this?
I mean, okay, so it wasn't the balance. It's not my, it wasn't my vehicle.
Okay, you can't raise that issue in an objection, ma'am. If you believe that the judgment should not have been entered against you, then you have to file something to try to get the judgment set aside. This is what's called a post-judgment proceeding. That means
So how do I?
Don't cut me off. Don't cut me off. This is a post-judgment proceeding.
I apologize.
A post-judgment proceeding is where the underlying case has already been decided. That was decided by default when you didn't respond to the complaint. This case goes back to 2019. There is a proof of service that shows that the process server served you on Berkshire in Detroit with the complaint in this matter. That was back on the 24th of October 2019. When you didn't respond to that, a judgment was entered, and that's how you got this $8,000 something judgment. It looks like that judgment was entered as a result of a retail installment contract with credit acceptance that they filed a lawsuit on. That's how you got to where this case is now. Once the judgment was entered, they have the right to use that judgment as a basis to try to collect through the means that are permitted by law. And one of those means that's permitted is to garnish wages, intercept income tax returns, and other kinds of approaches that can be used to collect on the judgment. Go ahead and say what you wanted to say regarding at this time.
Okay, so like I never received the whatever that was given to me. Nothing was ever given to me. I got this from the job. This is how I'm aware of this right now. Because nothing was never, I was never presented anything, or I would have came to court with it. I wouldn't, it wouldn't, I would have been, we would have handled it right away. I never received anything.
All right.
Until it went to my job site.
All right, yeah. So you have to go back in, and you likely will want to file some type of motion to see if we can get this set aside, because there is a judgment against you, and there's an act signed by a process server saying that they served you at your home address, and that was back in 2019. So that judgment is in place. If you want to challenge that, you have the right to file a motion to try and challenge that on the second floor. Right now, what you have is you have a judgment in place, and you have collection efforts that are on the way here. Now, the garnishment that you received in regard to this matter, is that at the place where you work, ma'am?
Yes.
All right. And has any money been taken so far?
I mean, she has it on hold, I guess, to see what's going on.
So they've withdrawn some money from your check, correct? Has money been taken out of your check?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. All right. How much money is
I can't keep
taken
writing.
now to the best of your knowledge?
I'm not really certain. I could probably get that from her.
That's okay. How much is being taken each pay period?
Like 2 something.
All right. 225, 250, 275.
Maybe like 225.
225. And you get paid twice a month?
Yes.
Do you know how many times they garnish your wages? How many pay periods?
No, this just started because I just received these papers.
All right, the first month. All right, very well. Mr. Pavlovich, anything at this time, sir?
No, Your Honor. I think we kind of hit the nail on the head with the underlying judgment. Just as a side note, I submitted a response to the garnishment. I sent it via fax. Did the court receive that? I just sent a ledger because I know she objected to the balance of it. I just wanted to double check.
Yeah, it doesn't seem that has populated with the court just yet. But again, the issue here has to do with the fact that there is already a judgment that's in place. And Ms. Fisher, you understand that this relates back to looks like a vehicle, which is a 2009 Dodge Journey vehicle. You understand that that's what this case is all about. You understand that?
That I do.
Okay. All right. All right. So ma'am, here's where things are at this point. You may want to file something that's up to you as to whether or not you want to file something to try to get this set aside. You can do that on the second floor. You can file something called a motion to set aside. I'll take a look at whatever you file. Right now, you can't even raise those issues without a motion being before the court. So the writ of garnishment, you haven't stated a valid reason why the writ of garnishment should be set aside. I know that your garnishment rate is about $450 a month is what they're taking from you. are you, tell me what you can pay a month while you're in the process of trying to get this set aside.
To be honest with you, it's really nothing I could pay monthly. I'm just gonna be honest because I'm barely like making ends meet.
Okay, well, if that's the case, then I'll have to leave a garnishment in place, ma'am. You see what I'm saying? There's a garnishment. I mean,
I mean,
they're gonna take $450 from you if I don't do something about that garnishment. And I really don't have a basis to do anything. I was just wondering if you might if you might want to see if you can do a partial payment. You can always file a petition for partial payments with the court and ask for consideration as to the amount that is being taken out of your check. Right now, you have a garnishment.
okay, but you said I could go down. You said the 36th district, go to the second floor and do a motion.
You can do a motion. You can file a motion also for partial payments, etc. Let me do this now. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to order that you pay $200 a month. And I will make that first payment. That first payment is going to be required on the 27th of May, 5/27. Any funds that are withheld already will be released to the claimant. That will reduce. You would normally on the garnishment you'd be paying $450. You got to pay $200 a month. If you get this judgment set aside, then any money's been taken from you will be refunded to you. If you don't get it set aside, then you can continue on a partial payment order. If you don't continue on a partial payment order, then what happens is that the garnishment that's suspended will be put back in place, and you'll be paying at the $450 or so rate. All right, so that's going to be my order today, ma'am. You'll get a couple of orders from me in the mail. One will be suspending the garnishment and allowing you to make a voluntary payment beginning on the 27th of May at $200 per month. All right, I do wish you well, ma'am. Thank you, counsel. Good day to both of you.
Okay, you have a great. I'm going down.
Just one moment, everyone. Ready? Okay, we're back on the record in the suffix 5,000. That's Hirschberg Acceptance versus Eugene Young. Do I have Mr. Young on this Zoom? Say something at this time. Eugene Young. All right, Ms. Francis, I know you previously entered your appearance regarding this matter.
Judge, could you pass me for a moment? I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry, what did you say, Mr. Francis?
Could you pass me for just one moment, please?
All right, we'll come back to your matter.
Thank you.
Sure. The court now calls case number 1313, strike that 118067. This is Midland Funding LLC versus Juanita Nix. The matter is before the court on the filing of objections to a writ of garnishment. The record should reflect in this matter that a judgment was entered by default on the looks like let's look at the date here. A default was entered on the 24th of January. Wait a minute, I'm trying to see as well. Hold on one second. Let me look at the record. All right, looks like a judgment was entered by default on the 23rd of January 2014. The total judgment is $1,465.64. The record should further reflect that a proof of service was filed with this court indicating that the Nix was served at the location of 13992 Asbury Park in the city of Detroit on October the 5th of 2013. The defendant did not respond to the complaint and the judgment was entered thereafter. Your appearance for the plaintiff in this matter. for Midland funding.
Yes.
But Judge, that's Ms. Francis.
Funding, the attorney for Midland funding, are you present at this time? All right, very well. I'm looking for Juanita Nix. If I have Juanita Nix on the Zoom, please say something at this time. Juanita Nix. All right, the record should reflect that I did receive the objections to the writ of garnishment in this matter regarding the Michigan Department of Treasury. The objections indicate that the funds or property are exempt from garnishment. It also indicates the judgment has been paid. It also indicates that I received from the creditor, the written statement I received from the creditor, I object to the written statement I received from the creditor because the balance of the judgment is wrong. Never received sent notice when taxes were paid. Sound like the defendant is saying something about they didn't get the notice until their taxes were intercepted. The defendant is not here to argue on the objection, therefore the objections will be found to be invalid at this time. Any funds withheld will be released to the plaintiff. So ordered at this time. And Ms. Francis, we're back on the record regarding Firstburg acceptance versus Eugene Young under the suffix 5000. And ma'am, you ended your appearance previously. I've been looking for Mr. Eugene Young regarding this matter. Mr. Young, if you're here, say something at this time. Anybody representing Mr. Young, say something at this time. Matters of before the court on objections to writ of garnishment. On the objections, defendant indicate that the funds are exempt from garnishment. And then secondly, that the judgment has been paid. Madam Counsel, tell me about the objections, if you will, any statements in regard to the objections.
Judge, this is a tax garnishment, so the funds would not be exempt. So that is an invalid objection. And then the judgment has not been paid as the total balance is still $3,036.83. So that would also be an invalid objection, Your Honor. So we would ask for his objections to be denied at this time.
Well, it does appear to me that the defendant has not appeared regarding this matter to argue on the objections. Therefore, and for the reasons stated by the plaintiff in this matter, they have indication that the judgment has not been paid. That moreover, there is no indication whatsoever that these funds would be exempt. Therefore, the objections will be denied. Any funds withheld will be released to the plaintiff. It is so ordered at this time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Counsel. Good day to you.
I have one more.
All right, just one moment. What's the suffix on the other one that you have, Madam Counsel?
I have 067.
Right, this is case number 15-121067. This is Midland Funding LLC versus Wanda Jones, and that is before the court on the filing of objections to a writ of garnishment. This is regarding the third-party withholding unit, Michigan Department of Treasury. The record should reflect that a judgment was entered in this matter on the 1st of December 2015. The judgment amount on entry was $835.62. Record should further reflect that the objections to writ of garnishment indicate that the judgment amount has been paid, and therefore the objection should, the garnishment should not be allowed. Looking at an application for installment payments as well, like I've received motion and affidavit from Stone. All right, this one. All right, counsel, your appearance for the record on this matter.
Snapdrag Francis, P72322 on behalf of plaintiff's attorney of record, Your Honor.
Thank you, Madam Counsel. Do I have Wanda Jones on this Zoom? Please say something at this time.
Yes, I'm right here.
All right, thank you, Ms. Jones, and good morning to you as well at this time. All right, so you indicate that two things. You say that the funds are exempt, and then you say that the judgment has been paid. What do you mean when you say the funds are exempt?
Well, because they start off with like three creditors. Portfolio got paid, and then they sold it to Jefferson.
Let me stop you for a moment. Specifically, because I think that you're, maybe that's my staple. Hold on one second now. All right, my staple looks like it's going through the property is exempt, so that's not one of your objections. Okay, so disregard that part. Okay, so you say that the judgment has been paid. So tell me about that.
Well, this is the third creditor it been passed along to. They keep selling it off to next creditors, and they keep taking my income tax. They took it in 2018, 2020, and now they're trying to take it in 2021. And this credit card started off like $400.
Let me stop you. I want you to go on that part. That's you're gonna go swimming somewhere that we don't need to go. Here's where we started. We started at 2015. 2015, you owe $835.62. That's the jet. Okay, so we start from there. That's I can't go back past any of that. We're at 2015, and the judgment said that you owe $835.62 on December 1st, 2015. So you're saying that you paid that $835 since that time. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, they still have the papers I submitted from 2018. They took that already in 2018.
Okay.
And so that was, but they used a different case number and a different creditor, which was Jefferson. Then they sold it to this Midland, and then in 2020.
Let me stop you. You may have some other cases or whatever, but the only thing that they can collect on is under this case number, 15-121-0667. If anybody was paid out under any other case number, that doesn't have anything to do with this case. Now, what I do have in the file is where you objected on previous occasions to other garnishments that were filed against you. Because if it comes up under this case number, then it comes back to this case. If there's some other case. Now, if somebody changed something before 2015, that's one thing. But this case is under Midland funding, and this case was filed under Midland funding. And this case has the judgment was entered under Midland funding. So this case is Midland funding versus Wanda Jones, and this is a 2015 case. The only amount of money that you owe on this, and I'm not trying to undermine it, but the only money you owe was $835.62. If you were garnished for $835.62 on this case, then they don't have the right to take any more money. If they garnish some other cases, that does not relate to this case. So what I do show that you objected to a writ of garnishment at Addis Corporation, and that was back in 2018. And I do see that the objections were held to be invalid. So that would have meant that you paid some money out from Addis corporate office that they garnished your wages or something during that time. Is that what happened back in 2018, man?
Yes, in 2018, it shows that my health account insurance that they got the $263, and then Jefferson Capital got the other $612, which is the same credit card.
Okay, you can keep saying that, but if it's under Jefferson Capital, that's not this case. That's another case. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Now, I don't expect you to agree with me, but I wish that your disagreement would change something. It simply won't change anything, and that's the frustration here. If you were garnished under some other case title or case number, that does not apply to this case. That's what I'm saying to you. If you believe that you got double charged or something, you have to file a motion saying that there is another case that's the same case as this or something, and bring that to the court. Right now, what we're dealing with is post judgment. We're dealing with the fact that you have $800 judgment on this, And I know that you paid some of it because I know that there was a garnishment back in 2019. Also, your income tax, your state income tax was garnished back in 2019 as well. So let's find out how much money has been taken on this case. Ms. Francis, how much money has been garnished already? Because it's a small amount of judgment, so there's been a couple of garnishments. Tell me what's going on.
We've only received $494, Your Honor. So the total balance is still $356.62 on this judgment.
So have you gotten any notification from the Department of Treasury as to how much money they're withholding, or if they're withholding money? Have you received anything yet?
I do not see a disclosure. Ms. Jones stated maybe around 700 is being withheld, but she obviously has multiple judgments, so I'm not sure what is going to us and what is going to another creditor, Your Honor.
All right. So Ms. Jones, how much are you expecting from the state income tax return?
$722, and they said that Midland has wanted more money, and they took it all last year. I didn't get it wrong.
Yeah, how much did they take last year?
If you get the document that I sent, it say $850, the court costs, and then $494 attorney, and that took my whole 800.
Yeah,
Whatever they did.
Yeah, that's capital acceptance. That's not disgarnishment. That's another case. Yeah, that's another case number.
It has this case number.
I'm looking for it, ma'am, and I'm looking for it now to make sure that we're on the same track. It looks like based upon what you've shown me is that the money that you made reference to went to Jefferson Capital. That's what it looks like. It also looks like, looking at your garnishment disclosure dated in 2018, that's Jefferson Capital as well.
Then what about the 2020?
Let me go, let me see, you said 2020?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm looking at a 2021 document, and that document does have this case number on it, and that document indicates the amount of the garnishment. It says amount of garnishment may include, well, it says amount of garnishment is $850 and a $5 garnishment fee. This one does make reference to this particular case. Madam Counsel, I'm looking at.
And the 2020 is to this same case number too.
Let me deal with this, ma'am. Let me deal with this. I'm looking at 2021. It says the date the garnishment was received was 11/1/21, and it says it has a disclosure, and that disclosure says the total garnishment amount, including court costs, is $850. So
Your Honor, the only funds we received were on 8/9/2021, and that was the $494. So the one you're looking at is the current one they're withholding, then we have not received that. I'm not sure what, we didn't get any of those with our copy of the objection, Your Honor. But the only funds we've received are the $494.
It says it right there. Midland 2020. You got $850, $494. Midland right here for 2020.
One moment, let me get another look.
I don't know if you can see it or not.
Yeah, the income tax year, of course, is 2020. It makes reference to the year 2021, but we're talking about the same document in both instances. The 2021 is not a separate year. The 2021 garnishment disclosure is in reference to the 2021 taxes. I'll strike that to the 2020 tax. So we're talking about the same thing. I have a copy of both documents, and they withheld $850. $494 of that amount was sent to Midland. 494. There must have been another garnishment that they sent the balance to. 450. That 494 went to Midland.
Right.
That's what the state disclosed. So that's accounted for, and there's no other amount that is shown as having gone to Midland, other than, I think you said that at an earlier time, council, that there was another payment.
There were no other payments, Your Honor.
All right, so I'm looking at, well, that's Jefferson Capital, but I'm thinking about the, I don't see any other garnishment payments from the state except the 494. That's what's been paid by the state. I'm clear from her document and everything else that I've looked at. But what I'm concerned about is that in 2019, there was a garnishment at his corporate office. What is that, ma'am? Ms. Jones?
I don't know. They just keep taking my income tax, and to me, it has something to do with
You
this.
gotta answer my question. Did you understand my question? It's
Yeah.
taking a little, and it should on this case. If you answer my question, then we can keep moving. If you answer something else, then I ain't got time for that. I really don't. All right? Now, my question to you is, it shows a garnishment at Addis corporate office in Frisco, Texas. What was that about back in 2018?
The 2018, that's all I have right here. I guess that's the Jefferson, but I really don't know what it's for. I just figured it was for this credit.
You're not listening to me. So let me ask you a little bit different. Let me ask you a little bit different. Have you ever worked for Addis? You ever worked for Addis Corporation?
Oh, yeah, I did. A home care, yes.
Okay. So was any money taken from you that was due to you from Addis?
Well, I wasn't aware of it. That's why I had no idea what you was talking about, because I haven't worked for Addison probably around that time, and I never knew I owed them money, and they didn't owe me any money.
Okay, well, I mean, the point is that you heard me mention Addis, so you know I'm talking about that. I'm not talking about the state anymore. That's
Right.
so that we don't waste time. Here's the point. The point is that if you could point to something that was taken from you from Addis, then that would go towards reducing the amount of your check. That's the only question. That's what I was getting at, because you clearly there was a garnishment issue to Addis, but it looks like there was no money that was paid on that garnishment. That's the problem. All right. I
That's
see
correct, Judge. We did not receive any money from that wage garnishment.
All right, so it looks like what I'm able to see from all the records that Ms. Jones submitted, one that relates to the 800 and the amount that she was garnished, the $850.62. She was definitely garnished based on the 2020 taxes. The garnishments were populated in 2021. $850.62 was taken from her. $494 of that amount was paid out to Midland Fund the case. So she has paid the $494. The balance on the judgment is $356.62. That's the amount that's owed. The court then would allow the court would find that there's not a valid objection to the writ of garnishment and limit the amount that can be paid out to this on this case to $356.62. That was satisfied Ms. Jones' judgment. She doesn't know any amount more than that. But there's still a balance, because there's a balance. The objections strike that the garnishment can go forward because you have a balance of $356. Some money clearly was paid to another case that you have. In that case, as indicated previously, relates to, I had the name of it here, so I'm trying to put my fingers on it again, Jefferson Capital. So you definitely have a case there, and that case number is 17-131-398. So that's another case, but on this case, you definitely paid $495, but you also owe $356.62. I'll allow the writ to go forward, given that there is a balance, and that the limits of that writ will be to satisfy the balance of $356.62. That is my order in this matter. I do wish both sides well. Good day to both of you.
Thank you, Honor.
All right, this is case number 16-119-726. This is Jefferson Capital Systems LLC versus Natasha Irwin. The matter is before the court on the filing of objections to a writ of garnishment. The record should reflect that a judgment was entered in this case by default. The judgment was entered on the 8th of December 2016. The total amount of the judgment is $7,951.68. The garnishment is asked to Spectrum Health and Human Services or Human Resources. Your appearance for Jefferson Capital, please. For Jefferson Capital. Do I have Natasha Urban on this zone? Urban, I'm sorry.
Yes,
All right, thank you, Ms. Urban, and good morning to you. I see that you have filed objections and you've indicated by your objections, I was never served. Also, it would be a hardship for me and my family. First of all, the issue of never being served, you'd have to file a motion to address that issue, because I have an affidavit in the file indicating that you were served at West Chicago, 1647 West Chicago, on the 25th of October 2016, and that as a result of that, ultimately the judgment was entered where there was no answer. This case itself arises out of a lawsuit that addresses, just one moment here, a claim by Jefferson Capital that you received a loan, SLM Education Credit Finance Corporation, and that's what they're suing you on regarding this loan that you received. All right, so that's not a valid objection. You'd have to file something if you believe that this case is proceeded against you without you having received service. Although there's an affidavit in the file, you'd have to file a motion to set the judgment aside. Right now, what we're dealing with is post-judgment. The second thing that you raise is that it would be a hardship on your family, and that's not a valid objection to the writ garnishment. So if the objections you raise are not really valid objections. So tell me what's going on here. How much money are they garnishing from you? This is your employer, is that correct?
yes,
So how much you get paid twice a month, do you?
I do.
And how much is taken per pay period?
Well, they just took money out and it was almost $400.
So was there some exceptional reason why it would be that much, or is that about what the garnishment would be every pay period?
They on this, because I got the paperwork from my employer. This is how I knew I was getting garnished. It doesn't say how much they're going to take out at all.
No, it's typically 25%. And so if you're receiving something in the nature of about $1,800 every 2 weeks, that would hit you with a garnishment of about $400. So is your take home, or is your pay before take home, is it about $1,800 every other week?
No,
Yeah, how much is it roughly?
it's if I don't do any amount of overtime, like stay over any amount of overtime, it's usually after taxes and insurance and all that, it's like close to $1,200.
Yeah, but that's why, yeah, that's why you're getting hit with about the $400 garnishment. So your rate, and probably with a little bit of overtime, is going to put you somewhere at about $800 a month.
Yeah, I don't even do overtime. It's
So
only,
it's okay if you do. I'm just saying.
oh no, I'm just saying I really don't. They kind of frown upon it. So it's only if I have to stay late to chart or something like that.
Gotcha. Yeah, so best case scenario, this is gonna cost you about $600 a month. Worst case scenario, about $800 a month. So
That's still a lot because I drive all the way to Grand Rapids. So the money that they're taking is literally my gas money to get back and forth to work.
yeah. So where do you drive from, Detroit or where?
Yep, from Detroit.
You're gonna have to get a little bit closer.
It would be great, but I have a specialty type job, so they don't have anything on this side of the state.
They gotta pay you more. You got something they gotta pay you more. All right, let's see what we can do. You got a judgment against you. That judgment is over $7,000. So, the amount dictates a lot of things, but the garnishment, there's no question about it. The garnishment will put you in a substantial hardship. So, you certainly have the right to file, a motion to set it aside and try to get the judgment set aside in this case. But in the meantime, you got to deal with the fact that there's an outstanding debt. So I will go ahead and, well, first of all, the objections are not valid for the reasons that I've indicated. So I'll allow the money that's withheld to be released to the plaintiff. I will suspend the garnishment. But I'll set you a monthly payment of $200, and you can start the first payment on June 3rd. Be your first payment. You got to make that every month until and unless you get this set aside. Otherwise, the garnishment, the suspension will be set aside, and then the garnishment will be back in place.
Okay.
With the $200 payment per month, that will keep the garnishment off of you while this case is pending. And if you file something and you win, getting the judgment set aside, any money that's been taken from you will be refunded to you.
Okay.
As long as that judgment's in place, you gotta pay on this, or you're not paying on the wage garnishment. You understand?
Okay.
All right, you'll get a couple of orders from me. One is an order suspending the garnishment, but releasing the funds that's already taken. Those are going to be released to the plaintiff. The second document you get from me will be a partial payment order. And again, that begins on the 2nd of June, the 3rd of June. Essentially, you're going to come to every first Friday of the month is when your $200 payment will be made. And you'll make that to the attorney's office, to Jefferson Capital System, stuff that's on your document, and send it to their office, put the case number on it, and then keep a record of the payments that you understand.
Okay.
All right, I wish you well, and you'll get documents from me in the mail shortly.
Okay. Thank you.
How do I check in? That's George Dean.
I
I was at the wrong courtroom.
I'm not sure if you are or not, sir. Just hold tight. I got a couple more cases. If you're on one of them, I'll call it just a moment. Just one moment. All right, this is case number 21-158-350. This is Synchrony Bank versus George Dean. The matter is before the court on the filing of objections to a writ of garnishment. The record should reflect in this matter that a judgment was entered in this case on the 21st of September, in fact, at the 29th of September, 2021. The judgment amount is $2,442.30. On review, be filed. The court did allow alternate service in this matter, and service was made by first-class mail tacking and by certified mail. The judgment was entered when there was not a response to the complaint. All right, your appearance for Synchrony Bank at this time.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Canine, last name spelled Canine, P6128, appearing on behalf of the plaintiff. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Canine. Good morning to you, sir. I'm looking for Mr. George Dean now. If you're here to say something, sir.
Yes, yes, I'm here.
Good morning. Good morning to you,
morning.
Mr. Dean. I received your objections to the writ of garnishment. You indicate that you have an installment order issued on 2/15/22, and that therefore your wages should not be garnished at Beaumont Hill. That's the nature of your objections, sir. Is that correct?
But the nature was, it was about, I was in a debt consolidation program back in 2019.
Okay,
And I was,
let me stop you. My specific question is regarding your objection. You checked box number C, letter C. You said I have an installment order that was issued by the court on 2/15/22.
yeah,
You said it was for $0. Is that how much are you supposed to be paying?
I'm not exactly sure how much I'll be paying, but they take out $200 some every 2 weeks. 300.
Wow, that's the garnishment. But you said you objected because you have a court order saying that you can pay a partial payment. Do you have such a thing?
No,
Well, why did you say it? So what? Okay, I'm gonna let you tell me now. Why shouldn't the garnishment be effective against you?
I explained to them why.
because I was into a debt consolidation, and I turned everything over to them back in 2019.
Okay.
So I don't know why they was garnishing me.
All right,
And
gotcha.
this Citydale Solution, they was handling all my garnishing. I had 10 creditors and they had them all. This the only one can't stand out.
All right. Mr. Canine, sir, anything?
I was under the impression, as the court was, that an installment payment order had been entered. I checked the ROA, but didn't see anything, but thought maybe that was an oversight. I guess, given what I've heard pursuant to MCR 3.101, what defendant is raised wouldn't qualify as a recognized objection under the Michigan court rules. Thank you.
Yeah, you don't, nothing that you presented, Mr. Dean, qualifies as an objection for the court on this issue. It sounds like what you're asking me for is to give you consideration for a partial payment order. Is that what you're asking, sir?
Yes, to stop the garnishing me because I had no control of this garnishing right now because I was in a debt consolidation program.
All right.
And they should have handled that.
All right. Well, the persons that you believe should have handled this, they didn't bring anything before the court, and so that would not stop anything here. So what I'll do, I can't find that the objections are valid, so they're invalid. I'll release any funds withheld to the plaintiff. And then I'll suspend the garnishment. You said it's you're paying out about $400 something a month.
Yes. Right.
All right. And so the judgment amount in this case is in the nature of $3,000, or strike at $2,500. So I'll set your payment at $100 a month, sir. You can begin making that on the 3rd of June. And I'll suspend the garnishment as long as you make the payment on the 3rd of June and every month thereafter, then that will keep the garnishment off. You understand?
Yes.
All right. And if you wanted to, if you thought that there was some reason why the judgment should not be against you, then you also have the right to file any motion that you might wish to file in that regard. But I'll give you some relief in that way, and you'll get a copy of 2 orders from me. One is a partial payment, the other is the order regarding the objections on the garnishment. All right. wish you well. Good day to you. Thank you, Mr. Canine. Appreciate you.
Yes, you said 2 orders, right? Objections to garnishment and an installment payment order, correct, Your Honor?
That's correct, sir. That's
Okay.
correct.
Thank you. Thank you too, Mr. Dean.
One question. This is May, so I got a payment, I got a check came yesterday, come tomorrow, so they're gonna garnish that one, and then I get one on the 22nd. They're gonna garnish that one too, right? That's what I understand, because you said my order don't start till June the 3rd.
Yeah.
$400.
What's going to happen is that you're correct that the garnishment tomorrow, they're likely to take that. They're likely to get that money tomorrow. All right, and that's going to be turned over to the plan. But the one after that, they're not going to get that, because as soon as you get this in the mail from me, you're going to take it to your payroll department, and they're going to see where the judge suspended the garnishment. All right, and that's why I gave you until June 3rd to make your first $100 payment. So yeah, they'll get you again this week, getting a pay period. But you should get this thing in the mail from me, if not before the week is out, early next week. As soon as you get it taken to your payroll, it will show that the garnishment is suspended.
Okay, all
All
right,
right. But I wish you well, sir. Good day to you.
okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, the court now calls case number 21-159960. This is JHPDE Finance 1 LLC versus Shanta Reed. The matter is before the court on the filing of objections to a writ of garnishment regarding a judgment that was entered by default. The judgment was entered on the 8th of September 2021. The amount of the judgment is $4,173.18. The record should further reflect that the court did receive an affidavit of process server indicating that he served the defendant in this matter personally at an address on Appleline Street in the city of Detroit. On the objections to the writ of garnishment, the defendant indicates in this matter the writ was not properly issued or is otherwise invalid as the basis for the objection. Your appearance for the plaintiff in this matter, please. Do I have counsel for JHPDE Finance 1 LLC? Someone from the Stillman office? All right, do I have Shanta Reed on the Zoom? Ms. Reed? If you're on the Zoom, please say something at this time. Shanta Reed. All right. Matter set on for 10 o'clock a.m. If you're on the Zoom, Shanta Reed, please say something at this time. If you
I'm here.
all right. What's your name, ma'am?
Shanta Reed.
All right, thank you, Ms. Reed. Ms. Reed, I've gone over the objections that I received from you. You said the writ of garnishment is invalid. Why do you believe the writ is invalid, ma'am?
I didn't receive it, and the date that's stamped on the paperwork that I received say March the 23rd. I didn't receive anything March the 23rd. I gave them a phone call March the 29th when the server called me to serve me on the 30th. I gave them a call and I was getting the information about the case, and then they told me that I could enter into a payment agreement. But when he emailed me the information, like an hour later, he revoked it back for me to even go farther with the payment arrangement.
All right, so what are you talking? You talking about this garnishment that you just received?
Yes.
All right, so someone from the finance company, they reached out to you and offered to set up a payment arrangement, and then they didn't do that, correct?
Nope, the processor told me. He called me to serve me the next day. So he gave me the information on who was suing me. So I gave them a call, and he told me that I had time since I didn't get served yet, that I can go into a payment arrangement. He emailed me the information. So as I was going through it, I wanted to discuss it with my mom, but like an hour later, he revoked it, so I wasn't even able to go through with the payment arrangement.
When did that take place?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
When did that happen?
March the 29th.
2022?
Yes, of this year, yes.
Okay. All right. So the situation here is that the judgment was entered in this case back in July of 2021. So all of this is based on the judgment. Even if they reached out for a payment and they didn't follow through on that, the garnishment is likely the reason why they didn't follow through. They saw that they were able to file this at your employer and get it taken out of your check directly. So they took that approach. So the objections that you're raising at this time are not really a valid objection to the writ of garnishment. But let's see what's going on with your employment. How much money are they taking from you per pay period?
This will be the first pay period tomorrow. They took $392 out, so close to $400.
Okay. All right. So you get paid every 2 weeks?
Yes, sir.
So how much do you usually bring home?
I bring home about $1,100 after medical and taxes and stuff.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you would be getting hit on the garnishment for about 800 a month. It could be as low as 700, but basically about 800 a month. All right. So
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. But that's how that stuff works. I mean,
Understandable.
your judgment is about 4,000, a little over 4,000, 4,100. How much do you want to pay on that a month? Let's see if we can work out something, get you into a payment plan.
But $250 a month.
Yeah, that's a good payment. All right, I'll set it up. I'll set it up at that amount. Because yeah, that garnishment getting real heavy. Okay, so what I'll do, I have to find that with regard to the objections are invalid. Any funds that's been taken so far will be released to the plaintiff, but I will suspend the garnishment.
Okay.
And then I'll set up a partial payment at $250 a month. When do you want that to start? I've been starting them on June the 3rd. That sounds good to you?
That'll work. Yes, sir.
Now so when is your next payday?
Tomorrow the 5th and then the May 19th.
Okay, so you know they're gonna garnish you tomorrow, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So, but you'll get the order from me after that, and that'll stop. Take it to your payroll, and they will stop it with this order that I'm signing. Okay, and
No problem.
Your next payment will be in June. You do that voluntarily.
Okay.
Make sure you send it to
And
me. I was just telling you where you send it. Make sure you send it to the Stillman office, and make sure you put the case number on whatever way you pay it. If you call that office, they may have a way for you to do electronic payments, but whatever you do, keep good records so that you can show that you've been paying the judgment down.
Okay.
All right. All right. I wish you well, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
In the mail, ma'am. Good day to you.
Thank you. You too.
Counselor, do you have a matter with me, sir?
Your Honor, I do. It's H&S Financial versus Monica Gutierrez Delgado. Case number is 03126575. It's noticed for defendant's objection to a garnishment.
I can't hear you. Just a moment,
That's a
Counselor.
03 case. We have a subpoena, they filed a subpoena.
Oh, yeah, I called that earlier. It looks like there was a subpoena issued and that was set for the 7th of June on subpoena.
That's a debtor's exam, Your Honor.
Yeah, I got you. And
Okay.
it's set on my Zoom on that date. I don't see the objection to the garn. Apparently, it did not populate to this file. Hold on 1 second. Let me look at one of the things. Let me ask while I'm at it. Do I have Antigua Gutierrez, the Delgado on the Zoom? I called earlier.
Yes,
Well,
good morning, Honor.
all
Yes,
right,
I'm
good-
here.
All right, let's let me put the case on the record. I'll lose my place. Hold on 1 second. All right, this is case number 03126575. This is a recall on H&S Financial Incorporated versus Monica Gutierrez Delgado. The matter is before the court on the filing of objections to a writ of garnishment. And although the same has not populated to the court's file, I do see on the register of action that there is a writ of garnishment that was filed, and obviously the plaintiff, the defendant has objected to the writ of garnishment. All right, your appearance at this time, counsel, for H&S Financial. Sir.
Daniel Goman, P number 64231.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bowman, and good morning to you. Ms. Delgado, good morning to you, ma'am.
Yes, good morning.
So a couple of things are here. I don't have the garnishment in front of me, but tell me why you were objecting to the garnishment. It looks like there was a judgment entered in this case for some $18,000. That was back in 2003, and then it was renewed subsequent to that time. So what's the basis for your objection at this time?
Well, I never knew I had a lawsuit to begin with. Back in the paperwork said 2003, I got a lawsuit against me. I was never notified. I've never ever knew of this lawsuit against me until a month ago. I received a letter, and then the next day I called them to make payments arrangements because there's absolutely, I just cannot afford this amount. And they wanted me to send my W-2s and my pay stubs. And so I don't know, I got nervous. I'm like, oh, what do? I don't know. And I'm low income. I can't afford a lawyer. That's why I'm representing myself. And I don't know what to do. So I called the court to check if they have free lawyers for low income. And they say they don't. And they told me that the collection agency filed the garnishment. And I'm like, oh no, what should I do? And they said, well, what I need to do is filed an objection to my garnishment. So that's what I'm doing.
All right.
Because this is unfair to me because I never knew of this judgment to begin with.
All right. So, ma'am, you certainly have the right to file a motion asking the court to take a look at whether or not the judgment should be entered. It looks like this judgment was entered, and then there was a then warrant issued way back in 2006. There have been multiple subpoenas, multiple efforts to execute on this judgment.
Your Honor, I would, if I could, I'd also note, if you got a response, the Register of Actions shows that she was personally served with the summons and the complaint. The Register of Actions seems to indicate that was entered on July 10, 2003. So yes, she was aware of the debt.
She says it wasn't. She says it wasn't her, and that she's not aware of it. What I'm pointing out to them is what the record shows regarding this matter. So if you believe that something went wrong, you always have the right to file a motion to try to undo that. But right now, what you have is you have a judgment that's quite substantial that's against you, and you're in what's called the post-judgment stage. You're in that stage where there is an effort to collect on that judgment, and that's what the garnishment is about. That's also what the subpoena that has been issued is all about, is to get some records. So, ma'am, this garnishment that was issued against you, this is issued as to your wages. Is that correct, ma'am?
Yes.
And how much money is being taken from you for pay period, ma'am?
Well, my wages haven't been garnished as of yet, but I only, I'm a single parent. I have no help. I just cannot afford it.
I got you. But if you have a judgment against you, you run into a problem because, obviously one of the things that you can do is file bankruptcy and things like that. I'm not suggesting that. But if you have a judgment, there is no box that we can check that says that she has limited income, she's a single parent. There's nothing I can do about those kind of things. There's a judgment against you. You have to figure out a way to deal with the judgment itself. So let me ask you, let's try to find out what you might be able to do in this situation. So how much do you usually bring home? How much take home pay do you usually have?
Okay, I get paid every week. I bring home like $5.20, $5.30.
Okay. So
I get paid $16.67 an hour.
How much you get paid per hour, ma'am? Say it again.
$16.67.
Okay. And so you bring about $2,000 home a month, so that garnishment would likely hit you for about $400 or $500 a month. That's basically what the garnishment would cost you. So you work any other job? Is that the only employment that you have right now?
No, this is the only job, and basically my pay, my money, it pays for the bills. And actually, I've been thinking about for the longest getting food assistance because I don't have money left for food or for gas. Now that gas is high, it's just like I said, I just cannot afford this. Oh, and all this is entrance too. It's like I don't know what to do.
Well, yeah, it's outstanding. So, counsel,
Your Honor, I would note, if I could, I would note that she did call our office.
Let me talk to you first.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I know that you have a June 7th date for a subpoena and for inquiry. Would you like to go into a breakout room and take that information under oath at this time, perhaps on the record, or go through breakout and try to figure out what's going on?
Be glad to, Your Honor. And I was just going to say that she had called our office. She spoke to my office manager in March, and we sent her what's called a personal financial statement because, of course, we have to verify information. And she indicated that she would accept it and return it to us. So we emailed it to her, and we never heard anything back from her. So the discussions about, we had some discussions with her earlier about trying to settle this matter, and perhaps she was overwhelmed. So I'd be happy to talk to her at this point. But I think technically, as you might conclude the garnishment objection is invalid because the reasons that she's given are not valid. But again, we've been trying to work with her and are willing to work with her. And so, yes, I'd absolutely talk to her. Thank you.
Yeah, so let's see, Council, I think that you're on the right track as far as the objections being invalid, because I don't see anything in the statute that will allow for them as such. The court is making some inquiry as to capacity to pay and the hardship that might be associated. So it's worth talking about to see where the parties might be in this regard. And then the court will issue some type of order to try and address some of this. So ma'am, I'm going to give you an opportunity to talk off the record with counsel in this matter. So I'm sending a notification.
Your Honor, would this be sworn? I mean, is this going to be a debtor's exam? She's going to be swearing in. Frankly, I may record her discussions so that I'm getting correct information, and respectfully, she would be under penalty of perjury if she provided false information, correct?
Exactly.
Okay.
Here's what I want you to do is to go into the breakout room and go over that with her, and then tell her that you're going to begin, and I'm going to swear her so that then she can offer.
You're going to swear, yes, Your Honor?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you, sir.
Come back in. So just give her some information regarding the setup.
Yes, Your
By the
Honor.
way, tell her how to get back in too, because I find.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so go right ahead and I'll be waiting back in. Thank you.
Hey, Judge. What is her name? Because I have Gutierrez Monica. Her name is Delgado.
The first name appears to be Montica, Montica.
Okay.
And there's a hyphenated last name, Gutierrez Delgado.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
She doesn't have a case for the 7th. Ms. Gutierrez, she don't have a case for the 7th?
Yes, she does, but what I'm trying to do now, they're gonna conduct that.
Oh, they're in the meeting.
They're gonna conduct that examination now and then they take that off. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And what about the, you missing one more, credit acceptance and Fisher, Miranda Fisher, 959, ended in 959?
I already called it?
No, I don't think you called it.
Oh, yeah, I got that.
Oh, you called?
And I called that and,
Oh, you did? Okay.
and I'm gonna give you the orders on.
Oh, there, okay, all right.
That's why I have 3 files that you're waiting.
Oh, okay, yeah, and this one. This is Miss Nick. You gave her a partial payment order? I did you didn't put it in there though, that's all. You told her that you wanted her to pay $200 a month?
Oh, no, not on this one. She didn't appear.
Ms. Juanita Nick did not?
This one did not appear.
Oh, she did not appear, okay.
The 3 that I got the thing on.
Oh, you have it, okay, all right.
Okay, I'll get that to you in just a second.
Okay. Yeah, 1-4.
One more thing. Did that lady say she makes $16 an hour, 1-6? What did she say?
$16.67, 16.67.
Wow, okay, thanks.
Okay. Huh? I think, yeah, I think she's still on it. I think the people got on.
Two people
Huh?
on, yeah, two people on video.
I don't think any judge in there.
Yeah, they're in a breakout.
Oh, they didn't break our rules, okay. That's what I thought. That's what-
Judge, I'm just gonna take a 2-minute break.
22nd. Second, 22nd, yeah. You know what, Judge, I think she's